Greetings and welcome to my home studio. I'm Will Doran, a certified Anusara yoga teacher, and I delight in bringing this practice with you today. So what I'd like us to do is to turn the view of who we are from the outside to the inside, to look at how our internal alignment moves us deeper into the roots and the base of who we are and our highest values, our highest place of strength and steadiness. And so when we take our view inside and then bring it to the outside, we're in that process of aligning ourselves with an attitude of exploring the highest, and then taking it to a place where our action could come from that. So our attitude, our alignment, and our action all come together to create the fullest expression of who we are. So take a couple moments just to sit, go inside, get comfortable so your spine is long and steady, your shoulders broad. And then we'll take a couple moments just to connect to the earth, to open, and I'll lead us into one round of Om and one round of the Anusara invocation as we prepare to warm up, stretch, and move, and go deeper into a focused pose of a revolved side angle plank. Find your seat that's unique to your body, that's comfortable for you. So whether it's sitting crisscrossed on blocks or on your heels as I am, close your eyes and watch the rhythm of your breath as your lungs fill and empty. Just take a couple moments, giving yourself this break, a moment that's separate from the actions of your day, the things you're doing, fulfilling, to a place where you're just stopped. And it's from this base level, this grounding into our inner being, that we take our hands together to our heart. We set our alignment to the vibration of our highest intention. Draw a deep breath in. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchit Ananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. And release your arms and stay seated for the moment here. You just kind of roll your shoulders forward and back, just stretching out in the chest, in the upper body, and you lean back. So we're going to interweave how the alignment of the arms, what we call the inner and outer rotation or spiraling of the arms, is connected to the same alignment in your lower body and the legs, and how the two work together, especially as we build from the feet up, from the foundation, to take these poses a little deeper. So now I want you to come to your hands and knees. And here, just begin to move in any way that spontaneously comes forth. You are just exploring the sensations in your body. And traditionally, we get very tight in the hips and the thighs, the upper legs. So I want us to move and stretch. We'll be opening up the hips before we move beyond that. Little rolls, little stretches. Until you're ready to slide your left knee forward just a little bit. And take your right foot back. And here you can push further back, stretching out the calf. And then release that, lean forward. And you're pushing down more through your arms. Lean back and push deeper through your heel.
And I want you to do this a couple times on your own and just explore the range of motion. Well, hi, kitty. Welcome to class. Go back and forth. Move. And eventually just settle backward. Okay, buddy. Sliding back through your right leg so you can press your toes down into your mat and then lift and pull a little over your thigh. And now release that, draw back, come into a deep prayer pose. And second side. Now, slide your right knee forward, left leg back. And then you could just push your heel further back. Drop your knee down and kind of pull forward if you'd like. You could even twist over your front thigh. And some of you might be practicing at home and your cat or your kid will be running around. I think that's part of the internal alignment. Come back neutral, hands and knees. How do we live in the world and be flexible and fluid enough to embrace what's showing up? Embrace the love that's showing up. Now, downward dog. Step one foot back and then the other. Or downward cat if you have a preference. And stretch out. Slide forward to plank. And now lower your knees. And we're going to lift up. Turn. Step your right foot forward. And push down. And just float your heart to the sky. Stretching down. And change sides. Just melt down. Our practice is one that's to move us into the deeper reality of what is. To be all embracing of our practice, of the conditions that we're living in life. Lift your heart. So that you're always moving from a place of this inner alignment, this inner connection. And now release. Come back to hands and knees. We're going to be lifting to downward dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. And with your feet wider than your hips, just roll from side to side. And here you can use blocks if you have them, or just reach to the floor. I like to implement blocks because it keeps me from folding too far. And this kind of gives me a little bit of a sense of pulling back so I don't overstretch, especially in the early warm-ups. And gradually lift all the way up and step your legs loose and just kind of shake them about. Come into a supported chair pose. And here we're opening, warming up. So not having to be too dramatic right from the start. Just sensing where we're tight, where we're restricted. Now I want you to keep your right elbow on your right knee, and I'm mirroring back the opposite from you. And you take your right hand over to your left knee. And now I push down on my thigh just to keep the seat dropping and to twist open a little bit. And release to the second side. Draw back. And release. Fold down, stretch. have a little love fest with your body as you lift up. So it's nice to feel the stretch, the opening. Find out where there's resistance. Meet it, love it, and just gradually be kind to yourself. You can never get too much of that love energy, whether it's from your kitty or your kids or just being in an inner place of contentment. Now I want you to have your right leg forward, left leg back. Arms by your side. Now I'm going to have you just explore a little neutral quality in your arms, where you're not rolling your shoulders too far back or concaving in. And I want you to think of your hands as rotating, like you're turning two knobs inward towards each other. With your arms by your side, you start to roll your thumbs back, and you'll feel your elbows widen and the shoulder blades widen. And then you draw the shoulders back, so one action balances the other. We've created an inner rotation that broadens the shoulder blades, shoulders back, takes you from the front plane to the back plane, and the shoulder blades drop, and you can lengthen up away from that. And I love to just lean into this pose. I invite you to do so. And then release out, hands to your heart. Step forward, arms by your side. Step back with your right leg. And just create a base. We're using the same principles of an inner spiral of the back leg and an outer spiral of the front leg. But our focus is on the upper body. Here, rotate the knobs in. And then draw in your outer shoulders, the elbows back and towards each other. Stretch in your chest. And drop the hands and the shoulder blades down. And then release, step forward, shake your legs loose, come into a supported chair pose. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, straighten your legs progressively more. Your hands could be on the top of your thighs, down to your ankles, or I like to use blocks as I mentioned. Use the blocks to give you some support and stretch down. From the side, you have a little bend in your knees until you can straighten them more or not if your legs are very tight. And lift all the way up. Shake your legs loose. Now I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do with yoga blocks, or as I've done here as a demo, I've put 3 books together, wrapped it in a towel and then duct tape. You can use this as a way to lengthen out through your leg. So we're going to put a block underneath your left foot with your right leg relatively straight. I'll use the second block as a little hand stabilizer here. So start with the bend in your knees. We're going to step in, and we're just going to gradually push. So the inner alignment is being aware of sensation. Knowing that this is an intense leg opening stretch, align with your heart and go slow and steady. And find your unique edge. Maybe this is it, or maybe you can go deeper and deeper. And I'm pushing steadily down through my standing leg. Feeling it on the outer thigh. The push in, draw your navel up, and you have more room to fold. And lift all the way up. Whew. Shake your legs loose. And I'm going to turn just to do the second side. With your right foot on the block. Square your hips forward. And slowly start your fold. Recognize there's no race and there's even no goal. There's the experience. There's the inner alignment. and lift all the way up. Shake your legs loose and just stand for a moment. Take a few breaths. We're going to do another unusual hip and leg opener with the legs crossed over. So from this position, I want you to take your left leg and cross it in front of your right foot, right shin. Hands to your heart. Now I'm going to lift the heel up on the down foot and reach up through your right arm, push through your left, and as you press down into your crossed over foot, it gives you support for a side angle twist. And release. Take your time to change your stance. Shake it loose as you like. And as you cross over with your right leg, push down into the earth, hands to your heart. Reach up through your left arm and twist to your side. I should say bend out, we're not twisting. So there's an isometric push. Pulled into the core of your belly and deepen your hands back, upper shoulder back, and release out. And take it loose. Do a couple more of those little rolls in and out with your arms. In and out with the arms, softening around the trapezius in the back, the pectorals in the front. Now, stepping your right foot forward, we're going to add a little extra action here. We're going to step and push down. Reach down with your arms, but keep the upward lift of your shoulders. So as your shoulders lift, the weight of the shoulder blades can drop. And now I'm turning the two invisible knobs here and leaning in and back bending. And just sliding the elbows back. Lower your chin, hands to your heart. Step forward. Back once again with the right leg back. Arms by your side, rotate in and deepen the shoulders back. And release that little roll in your arms, roll your shoulders, step forward, hands to your heart. Come down into supported chair. And take a few moments here. And now lift. Side angle pose here. If you want to turn on your mat or just a step wider than your mat, your option. From this position, we're going to step the left leg back. And then come down with your arms down by your side here. So with your top arm, turn the invisible knob and see how that drops the shoulders in and concaves you in the chest. It's a good stretch for the back of the shoulders, but it's kind of a collapsing, and you need to keep that and roll the shoulder back at the same time. And you feel that inner connection, that inner alignment, all the way from your back toes to the abdomen, the heart, the throat. So just this alignment of opening and then steadying connects all of the body. And lift to warrior two. The same little roll in and then drawing the shoulders back. Breathe. Be very present with the moment. And release. And we're going to turn. Step in for just a second. And we're going to change sides. Right leg back, left forearm down to your front thigh. So stabilize your lower body, inner spiral, outer spiral. And then we'll bring this to the upper body. With your top right arm, rotate in, turn the invisible knob, and then draw the shoulder back, draw the navel back. And then keep all that inner alignment as you lift up the warrior two. And release your arms down. Turn and step in. Now we're going to come down to our knees a little bit here. And I want you to sit back either on your heels like I'm doing, or you could use 1 or 2 blocks, or maybe even a bolster, a nice firm pillow to hold you up, especially if you're sore in your knees. Here we're just going to take a moment to rest. Let the beauty of the world come to you. Face what shows up and love it for what it is. Hands to your heart. Now lift up and take your hands back behind you. And we're going to use your left hand to grab the right elbow and just drop the right hand down your mid back. Yes. And then release, shake it out. Take a moment. And second side now. Reach up. And release. And let it go. So now as you come up, we're going to be stepping the left leg forward. You may have to reposition your audience. Left leg out in front. And now we're just going to turn into this. We're building to a deeper twist, but I want you to be patient. Allow the muscles just to kind of go through this journey of opening. And here, float up through your left arm. Use your right arm to lever down against your front thigh and help pull the navel back. That gives you more clearance, moving your gut away from the thigh. And then you stretch. And then release all the way out. Pull back. And step forward with your other leg. And here you'll be crossing over and turning. And I'm going to just pivot around. Reach up and stretch. Leaning back. Enjoy. Open up. And now come all the way out of the pose. Come down to your hands and knees. Take a couple moments as you move here just to roll through your hips and your shoulders. Let your ankles wag one way or the other. Just stretch. And then come back up to stand on your knees. Now, come back to your hands and knees. We're going to come to a standing forward bend. So there's more than one way to get there. I love the idea of leaning forward and then rocking back and then just come into a squat. You could use blocks if you'd like in front of you. Draw a deep breath in and then with an exhale, lift and fold forward. Lift all the way up. And now shake it loose. Soften out.
You notice how I like these little moments of just grounding. So we're not rushing, we're not pushing ourselves to an edge trying to accomplish anything. We're working with that inner alignment that says be aware, be sensitive, and feel. Embrace what's showing up. So now we're going to do a deeper twist here with the right leg forward, the left leg back, but we're going to have our legs straight. So it's going to start with the pyramid pose and then going to turn into a twist. So lift your shoulders and draw them back, rotating the knobs down below. Interlace your fingers behind your waist. And then as outer shoulders roll back, you're creating space behind the heart and a steadiness in the upper body. Now start to fold forward, reaching down. And from the side, it looks like this. Slow and steady. And then we're going to just turn. You're going to roll the front leg, side shoulder back. And you're going to twist inward. And now release all the way up. Step forward. And now we're stepping the right leg back. Again, I'm mirroring you. So from here, lean into this. Push your front leg straight. And as you turn the visible knobs, interlace your hands and roll the shoulders back. Shoulder blades and wrists downward, away from the direction of your head. Fold into this. And then begin to twist. Use that concept of turning the knobs to roll open. And lift upward. Hands to your heart. And step forward. Breathe. And just shake it loose. And turn and step forward. So we're moving, opening the lower body, opening the upper back. We're going to come into a deeper forward fold with the twist of the legs. So you can use blocks as support. Some of you might choose to grab a chair and do just what you can here to show you where we're going. We're going to cross your left leg in front of your right shin and then fold. So you can use chair, you can use blocks, or maybe even nothing at all. So turn so you can see what I'm doing. My feet are on opposite sides of each other now. And as you start to come up, whether you're using blocks or chair or nothing, just lift slow and steady. We're going to take your left hand behind your back and your right arm up to the sky. And you just add a little twist. And release out, hands to your heart. And now untwist and stretch free. Go for the second side. Now, right leg in front of left shin. Blocks or chair, or maybe stand near a wall so you can feel that support. But it's that keeping that inward sense of alignment where all of your highest intention, your attitude, and alignment take you to a place where the action becomes fruitful, becomes steady and playful, where you're experimenting, you're playing, and you're expanding all at the same time. Fold downward. And lift up. Uncross your legs and stretch out. And I love supported chair as an in-between kind of a stretch.
starting to feel my thighs open, heat up a little, and be a little bit more flexible. From here, I'm squeezing legs in, and I'm going to have you reach your arms out from folded chair all the way up to full chair pose. And lift all the way up, hands to your heart. Take it all the way down and breathe. Shake it loose here. We're going to add a twist in our triangle pose. So right leg forward, left leg back. And again, using a couple blocks or a chair or any support that you could come up with to keep you from falling over is always good to think in those terms. Or celebrate the fact that you're steady and you're not weak at all. There is no imbalance. There's this whole spectrum of who we are, and it changes from day to day, from individual to individual. We're very unique. But we keep these principles as standards. Open to grace. Create muscle tone. Inner spiraling and outer spiraling of the legs and arms are refinement tools that take you to the bigger, fuller expansion. So start to fold and just take a journey. And you just take your hands down lower and lower down your leg. This might be as far as you go, or you might utilize blocks. And from here, we're going to add a little bit of a twist. So you turn the knobs of your arms inward and feel how that expands the shoulder blades. And then melt your heart down deeper. That helps the outer shoulders to roll back. And you create equilibrium and balance. And you can play here to go into a deeper twist. I like to use the blocks. And so I'm going to just reach forward with the block here from the side view. Reach forward with the block and then over. You can even go high up depending on your belly and your thigh or what you're feeling in your practice today. If you can, slide your right arm up and over your thigh, the same arm as the front leg. We did it differently. And you lean back. Release and change as you step forward to move, to roll, to stretch, honoring where you are. And come up. We're going to step the right leg back, or the opposite leg if you did it the other way. And we're coming into the folded pyramid pose. And just go down slow and steady. And reach as you like, twisting around. You pull from your front leg hip back, take that same side arm over your waist and turn. We're rotating the knob, so to speak, the turning of the invisible knob with your hand to take the shoulder back. And then release all the way down. And lift up. Stretch out. Catch your breath. Have a sip of water if you want. Breathe. Wonderful. Now I'm going to take this just a little bit further here. So I'm going to have you come back down to your knees. And we're going to take the right leg forward, left hand down to the floor. And now your hand could be on a block or the floor. Depends on what your reach is and how open. So I'm kind of leaning into this. There's a little pull from my back knee and a deep press down into my front foot. On this hand, I'm kind of rolling it out. So I get a big opening. First is the inner roll to bring the shoulder blade on the back. And then there's the outer roll to create openness. And from here, I want you to reach forward with the right arm and just stretch out, lengthening, pulling yourself out of your contracted state. The inner alignment makes you more empowered for aligning the rest of your life. When you're aware and sensitive, you become aware and sensitive on all fields, not just your physical movement, but where you are in a very complex world. Release it down, pull back, and take a couple moments just to roll and stretch until we pull the front leg straight, drawing all the way back, and keeping my left hand down here to turn, and I'm just rotating, and again, stretching out. Release. Pull your front leg back and take a couple moments to move and stretch as you like. Second side, step your left leg forward with your right hand down. Turn inward at first, and then a little outward rotation. One creates a steadiness, and the other one creates the expanse. And then you start to turn and rotate and lift. Release all the way down. Draw back and just roll. Be fluid. And then when you're ready to pull back, you draw your navel back and drop down through your knee. Lift up through your left arm and turn open. Release all the way down. Pull back and widen your knees. Let go for just a moment or two into a child pose. And you can use a block if you like to support your head in any way. Stack your fists if you like. Or just melt your head on the mat. Lift up now. Step forward with your right foot. Now we're going to begin this deeper twisting into our pose, moving towards revolved side angle plank. So take your left arm over your front right thigh and stack palm to palm. And just lean back. Pivot here to show you that when you do this, you're rotating your arms inward and then drawing the outer shoulders back. And that gives you support in the back plane. All right, come out. Breathe. Take a moment to settle. Second side. Left leg out in front. Cross over and stack your hands. Now I like to look down and it gives me that extra steadiness. If you're feeling comfortable and you want to play the balance a little bit, you can turn your gaze to look beyond your hands. And now release, hands to the floor and pull back. Sit back for a moment, catch your breath. Now, as we move into our peak pose, this is that Pavrita Parsvakonasana, that revolved side angle pose. I'm going to have you step your right leg forward and cross over. Pull your gut back and reach your elbow up to the sky. Now I'm looking down to my front foot, keeping my visual grounding and anchoring to the earth. And then as I lean into the front foot, lift the back knee. You can keep the knee down if you like. You can even open up your arms, but I'm going to stay here just like this. And then release down, untwine, come down for a moment. Second side, step your left foot forward and then lean into this. Cross your elbows over and look down to the earth. Now I'm flipping my back foot, lean in, and as you pull in, you can float. Lower all the way down, hands to the floor. Pull your front leg back and take a couple moments just to move and stretch. And now we're going to do some seated poses. So you can sit on a bolster, a thick pillow, a block, or just sit with your sit bones on your mat. Here I'm going to have you place your right foot in front. Just hold onto your front shin, drawing back. This is the same action of kind of a drawing the inner armpits back, the rotation of the invisible knobs, like you're turning the water faucet on or off. Keep that and then roll the outer shoulders back. So you have expanse in the shoulder blades and a dropping down that adds a lift up through your spine. And release that. Change sides. Right knee down, left foot in front. Draw back, lengthen up. Release that and let your hands go. Stretch out through your legs if you like. Do any little fold. So now we're going to deepen our twists. I'm dropping down through the left knee, and I'm going to have you step your right foot out in front. And here we're going to cross over your front thigh. And this is, you cross over if the foot can land solidly on the mat. So you cross over. If your belly's in the way or your thighs are keeping you from crossing and touching down, have your foot on the inside of your knee. Otherwise, from this turn, you cross over. And you just wrap around here. I'm drawing my navel back, lengthen up through the spine. And here you can just stay for a couple moments at this position, or maybe even explore taking it further with your elbow on the outside of your knee and going deeper with your twists. Release, come out of your fold. And just gently drop downward. Keep the cross of your foot over. Just bend down into this. Push yourself up. Lean back, stretch your legs out. And we're going to come to the other side. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Drop down to the earth or have your foot on the inside of your front knee. And just pull back. Enjoy how this focus on the inner alignment moves you into a place where you can expand from the heart. That inward focus takes you outward from a place of steadiness, connected to your values, connected to the joy and the play of life as you go through your journey, discovery, and unfolding your purpose, your reason for being here. Your ways to be of service and to contribute. And if you choose to go deeper, do that now. You can just kind of slide back, take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. See if you can stay here or whether just holding onto your knee like this is better. Now even notice the difference from leg to leg, side to side. All the way out. Lean back, stretch your legs out. Pull your feet back So they're in Baddha Konasana, or cobbler's pose. Again, you could be on the block or on the floor on a big pillow. And here we're going to fold forward. I like to push from behind. And to the point that maybe you can take your hands to the floor in front and just melt downward. Lift a little bit, and we're going to add a twist to this. So just slide your left arm a little bit more to the cross of the midline, and we're going to be folding down as if you're folding down over your right thigh. And you just reach out to that left arm. And lift. Breathe in and out. Lengthen your spine, fold forward, and then twist. Release all the way up. Lean back, stretch your legs out, and wind them apart. Deep breath in, forward fold. Your hands could be pushing from behind. They could grab your legs or reach to your toes. Wherever you're comfortable in your reach and your extension. And now lean back, kick your legs in. I'm going to do just little flops from side to side here. Now I'm going to come off my block and come all the way down. And I want you to come down to your forearms. Think of turning the knobs on your hands here, so you're rotating them in, and use that to broaden your shoulders apart, and then let your heart lift up like a rising sun. Lower your chin and stretch your legs out straight. So your heart lifts and your elbows drop down. And you push upward through the heart to the sky. And then release. Breathe. Now we're going to do that one more time. And the opportunity here is to maybe even slide your elbows forward a little bit further and come deeper into this beautiful arching pose called fish pose or Matsyendrasana. So I take my elbows forward, lift my heart, and then just tip back. Heart up to the sky. Lift your head, lower your back all the way down, pull your heels back, and take a couple moments just to roll from side to side. Windshield wiper swipes just to ease out of your efforts, moving quickly towards resting pose of Shavasana. We're going to do a bridge pose. So I want your heels to be directly below your knees, possibly even touching them with your fingers down here. And with your arms by your side, we're going to rotate both inward to broaden your shoulders blades apart. Then you drop the outer shoulders and you feel that there's a steady support and a lift. Now from that place you push in your feet and out through your knees. The weight now comes behind the back of your head and you extend out away from your head and then through your body, your hips, out through your knees. And release on down. Reach to your knees and pull them towards your heart. And then just roll gently from side to side. Straighten your arms as the weight of your legs goes back. So you're just letting your feet just dangle a little bit here. I'm going to do a couple rounds of the billows breath. But take a moment just to let this stretch. Keep your opening and relieving pressure on your low back. Now draw a deep breath in. And then with an exhale, pull your knees towards your outer shoulders and widen them apart a little bit. All the air out. Inhale, away from that. Your knees drift away from your face, arms straight. Exhale, pull back and widen your knees. Couple more times on your own, or you could just take your feet down and stop. And one last little roll here, and release the feet and do individual, just kind of little swipes or movement. And you can stretch out, reach overhead if that feels good for you, long through your legs. And then take your arms by your side. Here, as we come into Shavasana, you can maybe pull a blanket over you to cover yourself, get very cozy. Your arms turn so the palms face the sky and you just melt down. Our inner alignment here is just to be in a soft space, to let go of effort, and just to allow your body just to radiate like a beautiful sun in the sky. No effort, nowhere to go, nothing to do, simply being present with an open heart. Enjoy your Shavasana. And I'll just have us just rest here for several minutes. If you want to go longer in your Shavasana, you can stop and pause your video, or you can just let it run. As you rest in your Shavasana, open your heart like you're opening up the big sliding French doors of a room looking out onto a garden or beautiful scenery. We practice alignment, especially the internal alignment, as a way for you to become sensitive to your feelings, your experiences. These are the tools of your own personal evolution and growth. We recognize that to be a balanced human being, we have to be aligned with the higher aspect that we are humans in form, but spirit in nature. That we live in this world of duality with its opposites and its challenges as a way for us to progress in our own personal evolution. Everything we experience is an opportunity to express ourselves from the inside out. Everything we experience shapes and molds us
so we can be the observer of what works and what doesn't work. And when we come from an inside-out alignment, we become more compassionate and willing to accept ourselves, even in our shadow side or element, a place where we're less than perfect, less than aligned with our highest values. So we come back time again, to who we are, how we respond. So our yoga poses and the challenges that they create for us are our teaching metaphor. How do you face an edge and stay in your heart? Stay aligned with that inner light. So either you just remain here on your back in Shavasana, or you can come to your side and back to seated. I'm going to end our class today with hands together at the heart. Join a couple deep breath cycles in and out. And we'll close with one Om. Draw a breath in. From my heart to yours I bow. Namaste. And thank you for joining me.